And this is the latest transfer news. We will be talking about the latest on Nico Williams. If Arsenal are going to sign a winger, it has been confirmed that it's going to be Nico Williams. There's also an update about Reiss Nelson. Looks likely that he's going to leave, but which team is he going to go to? We have an update on that one. And then finally, the latest on Zinchenko and Kiwior. So let's start with the latest on Nico Williams. Now, we know that Arsenal have been looking for a winger. We've been talking about a backup for Saka, but it's looking likely that we might not just go for a backup. You might be looking for, concrete competition for Trossard, Martinelli, and obviously Saka. And Nico Williams is a player who can play on the left side. He can play on the right side. He's doing absolutely incredibly well at the Euros, and we all know the kind of quality it brings to Arsenal. Now, Arsenal is not the only team that is linked to him. The likes of Barcelona and Liverpool are linked to him as well. But this is the latest reports on Nico Williams, according to Ghana Blog. If Arsenal are to sign a wide player, Nico Williams would be Mikel Arteta's preference. So Mikel Arteta prefers Nico Williams if he's going to sign a winger. And considering he's going to be playing on the left side most of the times, I'd be surprised if Saka is on the bench. No chance Saka is on the bench. And Nico Williams predominantly plays on the left side. So if Nico Williams ends up being a starter and Saka is the starter on the other side, that means Martinelli and Trossard are coming off the bench. I don't know if they'll be happy with that, but listen, we have to build the squad. You have to have a very, very solid squad to the point of, in a particular game, you look at the bench and you're like, Trossard, Havertz, Jesus, Gabriel, Zinchenko, Partey, Jorginho, and you're like, this bench is really good. And then you can keep on rotating and mixing up the squad. They have players like Ben White and Tomias who can rotate. You have all of those players. Now imagine if you have Nico Williams as part of that as well. Now, Nico Williams is very direct. I love wingers who are very direct. They can get past their fullbacks easily 5 times a game, and they'll give the fullbacks a headache. And when they get to the byline, they can put in a good cross, or they can get to the byline and cut back to their right foot and shoot the ball across the ball. I like wingers who are unpredictable. There's some wingers who exactly what they're going to do. Sometimes you can't stop it. Like Ian Robben, everyone knew what he's going to do, but you couldn't stop it. But I prefer wingers who, have a mixed game. I think Saka's improved in terms of that. Sometimes he can cut in and shoot the ball. Very good. And he scores goals from outside the box. He can go to his right foot and cross the ball, whatever. And he can cut back to his left foot and cross the ball. I love wingers who have a lot about them, about their game. So different ideas and unpredictable. Now, many people would argue Martinelli usually has his head down and runs to the wing and crosses the ball. If he could improve in terms of believing in himself and cutting to the right foot and shooting the ball, like Saka does the left foot, like Robben needs to do the left foot, I think that's a part of game he needs to improve, and it'll be very, very, very good. But Nico Williams, if you're going to sign a winger, it's going to be Nico Williams. How much is he going to cost? He has a 58 million euro release clause, but as I said, it's not just Arsenal who want him. There's several teams who want him, especially Barcelona. If he prefers to stay in Spain, you have to make Barcelona the favorites, unless Barcelona say, listen, we might not have money. There's talks about Barcelona looking to get money for Nico Williams. They're trying to sell him and then bid for Nico Williams. Now, Nico Williams is playing in Spain. That's his nationality, and that is the team that his brother plays for as well. So he's very comfortable there. He literally has no reason of leaving Athletic Bilbao. If he does, he stays in Spain. He goes to a Barcelona, he goes to a Real Madrid, he goes to an Atletico Madrid, and he keeps on enjoying himself. Unless he wants to challenge himself and he feels like, listen, I prefer the Arsenal project than the Barcelona project. I want to come to the Premier League. But if he does come to the Premier League, what is he bringing to Arsenal? Last season, he had 5 goals and 12 assists in La Liga, and then he had 8 goals and 17 assists in all competitions. Very good, as I said, in terms of dribbling, scoring goals, assisting. Those are 25 goal returns last season in all competitions. That's mostly playing on the left side, sometimes on the right side, and those are very good numbers. Like if he can bring for us 25 goal contributions to the team, 17 assists, all of a sudden I think he becomes our number 1 in terms of assists with those 17 assists. Saka is good at assisting, Odegaard is good at assisting, Trossard is good at assisting, but if you add another player who can add goals and assists, that would be incredible. Now, if you do sign a player like Nico Williams, and you also sign a striker, then there's no time you're going to see you ever going to struggle for goals again. On top of that, you have Trossard, Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, and all those guys. Like, there's no time you're going to say that you're struggling for goals. Nico Williams would bring more to the team, and it'd be very good. He's turning 22 this July. He's playing against France at the Euros semi-final. If they qualify, we're going to see him in the final, and he could end up being a Euro champion very, very soon. But you've seen him up against, tough defenders like Di Lorenzo. Is not easy to come up against, but most of those games, he makes those defenders look very, very ordinary, pretty much. So Nico Williams, that's a little on him from Ghana blog. Arsenal, if you're going to sign a winger, it's going to be Nico Williams. Let's see how that one develops. You have to be a bit patient with that one. With Barcelona in the line as well, with Spain at the Euros. It's not even going for his holiday as well. This one will take time. If it could happen at the end of July. But a winger coming in means a winger going out. What's the latest on Reiss Nelson? This is the latest according to ex-West Ham employee. He says West Ham are becoming increasingly keen on signing Reiss Nelson, who Arsenal are willing to sell. So West Ham are in for Reiss Nelson. Is a player who's linked to the likes of Crystal Palace. We've had about Fulham. I think we've had about Wolves. A couple of weeks ago, he did say to us, listen, let me look for different options. Like, look, he's thinking about his future, looking at different teams that he could go to. I don't think he's going to break through to this Arsenal team, unfortunately. We have been into players like Nico Williams. If you have Nico Williams in this Arsenal team with Trossard and Martinelli and Saka, those are already 4 players who can play on the wings. And then you've not even mentioned Jesus, who can also play on the wing. Vieira can also play on the wing. Those are like 6-7 players who can play on the wing for us. And I don't think Nelson, even in terms of substitution, even if you have Saka and Nico Williams starting off the bench, you're not bringing in Reiss Nelson as the first 3-4 subs. It's not going to happen. So you'd only probably get opportunities in the Carabao Cup like he did last season. And to be honest, the Premier League games that he had opportunities in last season, 2 or 3 games, he wasn't that lively, especially the one for Luton is the game that he disappointed a lot of people. I don't think he's gotten too many chances, but for me, to be honest, for Edin Ketty and Nelson and Niles as well, there's a time around 2021, 2022, I was asking for them to be sold at that time. Let's move on. He got rewarded after his performances against Bournemouth, his goal against Bournemouth, his off the bench performance against Southampton in that season, and he got rewarded, rightly so. But after that, you can't really see him, break into the first team. We were told last season we weren't using our bench because I didn't really trust the bench players, and Reiss Nelson is one of them. So I think it's definitely going to move on. I've predicted Reiss Nelson to be the first player that we sell this summer transfer window. Will it be West Ham? If it's West Ham, as always, like they did with Rice, 50 million plus add-ons, we want it paid in, within 2 months, But on the real though, I think if we can get like 25 million for Reiss Nelson, that would be good business. Let's wait and see. Maybe, do you guys think we should be getting more than 25 million? Let me know. But that's the list on Reiss Nelson. West Ham are now interested in him, and they could table an offer very soon. Next up, let's talk about Zinchenko. This is the latest on Zinchenko according to Ghana blog. Alexander Zinchenko has 2 years remaining on his Arsenal contract, but has not yet been offered a new deal, which indicates that the club may be prepared to sell him. So, yeah, in terms of him not being offered a new deal, it seems a bit suspicious and worrying for his Arsenal future, because most of the players that we have, they've been offered new contracts, the likes of Saliba, Odegaard, Gabriel, many of those. You can see Declan Rice and players like that being offered new deals very soon. But Zinchenko's not been offered a new deal, and his contract is expiring in the next 2 years. Now, what I'm predicting is, out of here, I don't want Zinchenko to leave. I want him to stay for one more season, be used more in midfield, because in terms of having the ball in his feet and, creating chances and passes in between the lines, I think he's good. He's not the best of defenders, but if you can use him in midfield, that would be great. But depends. If only had that Bayern Munich wanted him, I don't know how much money Arsenal would want for him, but the Bayern Munich story went quiet, and now Zinchenko is still an Arsenal player for now. Is going to be part of the pre-season. We have to wait and see. But with Kiwior potentially leaving as well, I don't think Zinchenko is going to leave but next year. I'd not be surprised if Zinchenko gets sold with 1 year remaining on his contract. I'd be very surprised if he gets a new contract, unless he goes and has an unbelievable season, whether defensively or in midfield. And then, fans are like, oh, this is a different Zinchenko. Like, he's absolutely out his game this season. And, he's in making tackles, in man-marking his guy. He's playing numerous positions. He's scoring goals, he's assisting, he's making crucial blocks. Then you can argue maybe they could give him a 1 or 2 year contract extension, but at the moment, I think it's looking like that he's going to be sold next summer, but let's wait and see. He's not the only left-sided player who's looking likely to be sold. The other one is Jakub Kiwior, and this is the list on the two. This is from David Ornstein. It is possible a player will need to be sold, but it is unclear whether this would be before or after the potential signing of Calafiori. Jakub Kiwior and Alexander Zinchenko are the most obvious candidates, with the former looking more plausible at present, despite his popularity at Arsenal, because he appears to be generating more interest, particularly from Italy. That's the other thing. I know most of you want Zinchenko to leave instead of Kiwior. I want Kiwior to stay as well, but you also have to look at the interest. We only had Bayern Munich wanted Zinchenko, and then that went quiet. We've not really had any other team saying they want Zinchenko at the moment. For Kiwior, AC Milan, Juventus, most of the Serie A teams just have sparked an interest, and Napoli as well. Most of them want Kiwior. Now, he's played there before for Spezia, so it's a league that he's used to, and a lot of teams are showing interest, and maybe a lot of teams would be willing to meet that 25 million valuation. But if let's say we want to sell Zinchenko and you said we wanted 30 million, how many teams would be willing to come and pay us 30 million for Alexander Zinchenko right now? In terms of age, he's not like 22 or 23, anything like that. He's not the best of defenders. So unless you're getting him to use him in midfield, he's still a good footballer, then we have to wait and see. But the two of them, I think Kiev is the one who's going to leave. I'll be very surprised if both of them end up leaving. I'd be very shocked. But anything can happen. Never know. Anything can happen. But that's it on Nico Williams, on Reiss Nelson, on Alexander Zinchenko and Kiwior. Transfers are heating up right now. A lot of movements, a lot of deals going on, a lot of negotiations and all that getting done. I think by the end of the week we'll have a lot of news on that. But as of now, thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next.